Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirisho here, and now, before we do get started, let me go ahead and give a brief little review. In the last part, we had a number of events happening. Now, Deku, he has some problems. Most importantly, however, is restraint. Deku has a part of himself he doesn't like to indulge in because it terrifies him. He enjoys having the power that he does. And they just murdered a woman he loved. And that is the last straw. Deku's lost a number of people in his life. The only people he does love are now being killed off. He doesn't want that to happen again. After Mirako died, Deku decided to go in for quirk augmentation. Right now, Dr. Ujiko, he is going to be strengthening Deku's body and seeing if he can add another quirk to Deku's body as well. If he's lucky, 2. He's been trying to study the Matrix and make sure that this is not only viable, but possible. It's a coin toss. Redestro, Darkmight, and, 9. They were the primary aggressors in this battle. Deku lost Mirako and Bakugo, along with the fact that Best Jeanist, he did try to stand with the Yagi family, but he also fell. And that does come with a number of problems. With Best Jeanist dead, the Jeanist family, they are currently up in arms. Fact of the matter is, Redestro, his family, they are finally going on the offensive. They are caught between a rock and a hard place. All of Japan just declared war on their territory. Right now, the only 2 neutral parties are Overhaul and Ryuko. But with the fact that Deku is essentially putting it to one of Ryuko's lieutenants in a very crass way of saying it, people think something's going on there. Deku, he is dangerous. And Deborah, she just found that out when she stepped into his mind and uncovered some of the secrets hidden there. And she realized one very, very important thing. They fucked up. Very badly. Now, with that being said, it has been quite a bit of time. Deku, he's not sure how long it really has been, but he does it afloat there, comatose, in a tube. He does have that sensation. He can hear the ocean. He can hear the waves crashing into the seawall. And he can hear it. The river, it flowed out into open sea, and the sea, it is coming to claim land. But it can't get that far. It moves back into the ocean and tries again. Another effort, an endless cycle. Crashing into the shore over and over again in an attempt to drown everything. But Deku doesn't want to be the ocean. He wants to be a tsunami, a storm. And he wants to drown everything. That Redestro loves. He wants to drown everything that those people love. They killed Kendo's husband. That's what Bakugo was. Bakugo's gonna have a kid he'll never get to meet. Because they killed him. Kendo, she's distraught. Kirishima was in the hospital last time he checked, and he's probably recovered. But even then, he ordered him to get augmented the moment he could. Right now, though, let's cut to the inner world. Deku does sit there, his mind focusing on his body. The pain stopped at some point. It felt intense. Dr. Ujiko put him in a medically induced coma. And right now, he does remember all that pain. But is it going to be worth it? Miriko's still dead. He lost her. She was his teacher. The person who instilled this mindset in him. To fight like you're going to die. Fight like the only thing you have to protect is your life. You have to want it in this life. The world won't settle, the world won't let you sit, and it will definitely not let you cry. He's the goddamn boss of the Yagi family. It seems like people have forgotten. The only reason some of them live is because he sits back. He wants to be left alone. Clearly that lesson might have been forgotten. And he does have to remind some people about it. He does need to tell them about it. He killed that mercenary with multiple quirks. Hopefully they've gathered more information. They've learned more. Are you done brooding? I'm not brooding. While you're sitting there thinking about it, a war has already started. I know, Kudo. If you think about it too much, you'll drive yourself mad. Kudo, I'm trying to be real with him. Fact of the matter is, this isn't just something you can think about and sit there. If you try to, you're going to drive yourself mad. Kudo, I know. Bruce gonna somewhat cut in. I'm just saying. Take it a bit easy on the kid. He knows. Society's fucked, and he grew up in it. Besides, he's done pretty well so far. Hell, he got farther than a lot of them. Besides, what can they really do? We can plan this out a bit more. Do you have a strategy? Go in, meet with some of the families after I come out, and inform them that I am very much alive. Afterwards, see what I can do with that. Huh. Any ideas? I know that you had two little flings you were talking with, but are you certain that you can handle this? You can handle it, Nana. Miss Chitose. There, I must bit my tongue. She seemed interested. Popping up to surprise her could be very real. There's also the fact of the matter, you could potentially pop in to the new boss. See how they're handling things. Or talk to Overhaul. Have you had a plan, Izuku? I have an idea. Rip all of Redestro's limbs off, watch him flail, shove him into the wall. That's a pretty good plan. Though, I've also thought about that guy wearing your face. Yes. I don't like that as much as you. If not more. How do you think I feel? And then there's the lady who got in my head. It's gonna drive me crazy, but I don't know what she found. I don't know what she has. It has me worried about my girls. I mean, what if something happens to my daughter? It won't. Don't think that way. You'll drive yourself crazy if you think that way, kid. Besides, do you know what they had? What they got out of your mind? No. As far as I can tell, they didn't get much. Your family's safe. They probably got information about you, your abilities, and a lot more stuff like that. I don't know much. But if they had any information to try and blackmail you with, they would try. With them thinking that you're dead, they'll try their hardest to smear you. Try and drag you out of the woodwork if they could. With you under and not responding, it'll look more believable. Everyone's already afraid to smear you, let alone try and stand to you. I know. But I would have ignored it as best as I could anyway. There's a saying I like. Bonjo intervening, leaning back and stroking his beard, talking about it. By removing the tongue of a man speaking lies, all you do is enforce the truth. You're afraid of what he has to say. Something like that. I don't think that's how that goes. It's something like that. I've actually heard about that. All Might crossing his arms, leaning back and expressing. It goes, by removing a man's tongue, you fear what he has to say. Everyone looking at All Might. And he does get a shrug. Talking about it. He reads. Besides, this is serious. If these people are trying to smear both of them, if not the Yagi family, taking out Mirako, it is a very big incentive. It's something that they can use as a linchpin to show he's not untouchable. They already harmed him, took an eye, and did what they could there. But with the doctor, it'll be a lot easier. People know he bleeds, then he can die. Now, they think he's already dead. He's using that to his advantage. The Yagi family are definitely running in full force. If he did have to say, Night-Eye might use some strategies. Like what? Oh, I see. You guys mind filling me in? Technically speaking, he'd want more backing, correct? Make people think it's futile to try and take charge of territory, if not oppose the Yagi family. Correct. Second. I see. So, Bruce going to raise his eyebrows. I see. So that's what you're thinking. They might lean on the backing that Ryuko might be a Yagi, correct? Yes. I'd believe that. Plus with Genist involved, and his death, they're essentially facing the entirety of Japan. If I'm right, third parties might have pulled out of his territory. And that's typically what would have happened, yeah. Deku nodding. And he does go to feel something strange. Right now, he does feel cold and odd. Him gonna stand and go to walk outside. Before he does go to feel himself waking up. And it is where Deku, he does open his eyes. The moment he does go to look around. His senses are sharp. Everything feels odd, weird. For a second, his eyes give him double vision. But as the blurs do come into focus, he does go to raise his head and look up, seeing the doctor backing away and going to bring his hands up. Right now, going to pull the mask off of his face and go to climb onto his feet. Him going to bring up his hands, balling them in a fist and opening them, balling them in a fist and opening them. His body does feel a little odd, though cracking his neck and going to stretch. Oh, yeah, no, this does feel better. But I mean, hell, the feelings in his hand. You should be quite a bit stronger. I'm looking up. I've enhanced you as much as possible. It's been a little over 4 months. Right now, the current situation is odd with the Yagis, but I'm neutral party, so I can't give you very much. Right now, however, you should know that Redestro and, well, Dark Might, as some people have started calling him, they've begun to seize territory from the other families. Have they? They've taken over that trade city, the one that you gave them. Afterwards, they started moving into Genus territory, and they have been slowly but surely attempting to try and approach this place, though my Nomu have been keeping them at bay. I did what I could to give you what you wanted. The quirk regeneration is in your body. Unfortunately, I couldn't stretch the matrix that much further. The power is crystallized. What I did could soften it, expand it, but that's about it. I can only fit one ability in. Unfortunately, your mental fortress is only that. A figment of imagination. Though your regeneration should be high. I see. And my body? Your body should be capable of handling whatever you can throw out of it. Whatever force you can. As far as I'm aware, you're practically indestructible now. Though, you may find odd mutations pop up. How so? Whenever the human body does start to approach singularity, things will happen. Changes will happen. You can call them mutations. But, as far as I'm aware from my previous customers, they're permanent, but you can control them. It will take quite a bit of time to adjust to them, and some have reported the process is rather painful. But you held up to the pain longer than most people. You should be able to handle it. But be warned, it will hurt a lot. I see. Deku getting to his feet, walking over and going to collect the items he arrived with. Right now, him going to bring his hand down and grab a phone and go to look at the date. His daughter's birthday was almost a week ago. He missed it. He does see some text and go to scroll through some of them. It shows that Mandalay and Koda, they have been getting to know his family. There is also a picture of Mandalay somewhat joking with a watermelon stuffed in her shirt staying next to Fiyumi. And he does go to see a series of texts that do try to make him smile, along with one talking about how they do hope he's okay. And Koda has actually asked about him, wanting to meet. Hopefully, he doesn't scare the kid off. And Deku does stare at that. He does want to see his family. He really does. But he'll have to save that for later. Right now, he does gonna make a phone call. And a phone does get a ring. Right now, Sir Night-Eye, he does go to sit there, drinking some whiskey and going to look over some information. Whenever his phone does start buzzing and ringing, he does go to turn, setting his cup down and going to set down the folder in his hand. And when he does going to see Deku's contact information, he immediately does a jump to answer, sitting back down as he does it express. Boss, he's finally up. I just got out. Situation, status. The status is more complicated than we expected. How? I'd like to give a full detailed report in person. But, suffice it to say, Darkmight, as he's been called, he's been expressing information about you, your power, and trying to spread lies. People have questioned them and their authenticity, but no one's really trying to believe them. They're being seen as a terrorist cell using whatever they can to spread misinformation. We're using that to our advantage and also spreading multiple rumors. Did you come out with Ryoko as a Yagi? We actually did, yes. Ryoko has stepped forward and expressed that she has pledged allegiance to you. And her territory is a subsidiary of the Yagis. You're the boss of over 70% of Japan. Good. I expected that. I need to make some acquaintances. When I'm done, we'll meet. We'll talk. We'll figure this out. One more piece of information. Yes. It cost us some, time and some good agents. But we did discover something about our enemies. Voldo Galini. We discovered that might be the identity of the man posing as All Might. Along with that, the members of his, family. We've discovered more information among them. Fact of the matter is, Redestro, he's working with them. And it isn't just that. We discovered a key piece of information that I think might turn the tides in all of this. Overhaul has not been selling Quirk Enhancer to them. Nor has he been selling nullifiers. He's tried to remain neutral, and what weapons are out there have been sold already. Third parties aren't selling to the Redestro family. And they have been trying to use proxies to get certain things. It's been hit or a miss, but we've made sure to maintain operations taking these people out. That does lead me into another key detail, however. We found out that someone within their organization can modify abilities. Overclock a quirk. That's possible? Yes. We found that it's connected to the strange flowers that do sprout on people. And it isn't too uncommon. They're testing people for affinity with this person. It's rare, but if you have it, then you're recruited. A number of people have had their quirks augmented already. And They have been troublesome to the Yagi family. We've lost a bit of people already, and our own subordinates have been diving into Trigger to try and keep up. I believe with your supposed revival, it will instill a bit of fear into people, make them back down. They've also been spreading rumors that you're not All Might's son, and that they'd like to see a DNA test performed on both corpses. We've been adamant about not providing that, treating it as slander. Fact of the matter is, they're calling into question your origin, your mother, and everyone close to you. Why we're so adamant that you were his son. Why we're so adamant that you might as well be him walking the earth once more. And I say, they're trying to lure you out, see if you're actually dead. That's what we're thinking. With you not responding and us not trying to, well, be unopposed to those ideas, it is causing some, well, uproars. But it hasn't been doing much. A small blemish is all it is. A rumor. They're also calling into question One for All. And your power. So they found out about that. Did they discover my compound? No. As far as I'm aware, your compound is relatively untouched. Good. Good. We don't know if it's because they don't know about it, or if they believed you've already evacuated it. We don't know much information. Your family is safe, boss. Good. Now, I'm going to need some information, and I hope you've kept up with some records. If not, let some people know I might be coming by. Are you sure, boss? I'm sure. Right now, I need to prove that I'm alive. And in the flesh. I think it's best to handle this as... I think the best way to handle the situation is to allow me to still be dead. Though, let our allies know I'm alive. And for that, I've got to make a few visits. Though, maybe I should go see some family first. It'd be nice to catch up. Understood. Who should I inform? No one. Let the top 10 know. Other than that, keep everything under wraps. Yes, boss. Good. Deku hanging up. And he does just sit there for a second, sucking in a breath and letting it out. And he does just stare down at a mask. No. He's not sure if he should make this decision. Wear the mask and people won't know who he is. Wear the mask and people will know who he is. He is the horseman. A man people are afraid of. Right now, though, Deku putting on a familiar red cloak. He needs to be someone no one can see. Putting the mask on his belt and turning to Dr. Uchiko, nodding and going to leave. If he can hide his identity for just a bit of time, that can work out well. That can work out very well. And whenever he does go to step out, a number of people do to see a man in a red cloak, a mask on his face, as he does to bring up his hands. And they do just stare at the guy. He's a pretty big guy. I mean, tall. And, well, from the looks of it, Deku bending down and going to launch himself. And the moment he does go flying through the air. Them watching that guy break the sound barrier and go to fly off. Right now, the ground underneath him did get a crack. And that, yeah, he's augmented with the good shit. Yikes. That guy's scary. Some people are just going to stare where he was. And a sound wave does it a boom in the distance. Them hearing that, and some people, they do start to mutter about who that guy might have been. And someone, they do make an offhanded comment about how a dead man might be walking the earth once more. And some of them, they do get a shiver. Nomus are made from corpses. That guy didn't look like a Nomu. Then again, they've seen some pretty fucked up Nomu. Now, let's currently cut over to Ryuko. Ryuko does get to sit in her office. A number of things she's having problems with. It's publicly known they're a subsidiary to the Yagi family. Some citizens have tried to cause an uproar. But she did have to make public appearances and tell them how things are. Nothing has changed. They've been Yagis for a bit of time now. And she has been allowed to run the territory just as she did before. It's well known she's made these statements. She's said these things. But with the man dead, how will things change? There are some reassured because All Might's territory, they might be, well, more lenient on some things that Ryuko isn't, but they do discourage some of them. They have rules. Sure, you can bend them. In Ryuko's territory, you'd break them. You might have to pay money, or, well, in Ryuko's territory, they'll castrate you with a rusty carving knife, or brand you, sometimes both, just to make sure if you're ever seen again, well, they know what you are. Fact of the matter is, people are scared, some aren't, and she's been having to deal with that. Her going to stand up and leave the room for a minute. She does have a number of issues, a number of problems. And whenever she does go to get to the door, she does hear a sound. Turning and going to see a man step into the room. Right now, him without a hood on. And she does get a glare at him. As Deku does get to bring his hands up, informing her. It's good to see her. Boss? Ryuko. You look pretty good for a dead man. I know. Situation? What about you? How do I know it's you? Because I would have tried to sneak in here to kill you if it was not me. Besides, you swore an oath to me. Deku bring up a hand, and going to hold up a coin, expressing, is this enough proof? Or does she want to try and check the blood? Her walking back over and nodding, asking about the next moves, why he's here. I'm here to check in. I don't have much details on the information, but compile it. Check it out and figure out what you can do. Afterwards, let me know. Are you okay? That's not important right now. Her looking directly into his eyes. Deku's eyes are colder. Some of his hair is turning white. And she does is stare him directly in the face. He's a bit unkempt, but he's terrifying, rugged, scary. And she does a step forwards, expressing her own concerns. Is he sure it's best to deal with them now? They are at war. She's been augmented before as well. And you need to gain balance. Get your head on straight. Afterward. Along with that, well, some of those surgeries, the side effects are, I know. My head's on perfectly straight right now. Deal with the situation. Do as you're told. Right now, I have some other people to go visit. Deal with them. Yes, boss. Her staring at Deku, and he does it across his arms. What? The woman captured by them? Do you know any information? I do have a network of people. Some courtesans. They've gotten some information. What do you know? Do you know about the woman modifying their abilities? Somewhat, yes, actually. The woman's being held captive. They've captured her over in Europe and have held her as a slave. There are people compatible with her abilities and people who aren't. We're not sure the exact numbers, but it's a very low percentage. Those who are brought in, and those who aren't receive a backlash. I see. Powerful stuff. They've used her to maintain their hold. And Redestro's thrown his lot in with them. We don't know much more. She's a princess in a castle. And I do mean that quite literally. That guy's modified. Well, he's modified something in the city. He's changed things around and, well, he's made a real life fortress. They've taken over the trade city, and they're thinking about moving. Though, we're throwing everything we can at it, and we have yet to do anything. That is a problem. Yes. Along with that one woman. She's controlled a number of individuals into attacking our own people. She's the biggest threat. She is. If you can, take her out. She's already a priority target. They're protecting her, though. They know we're after her. Along with that, she does have other quirks. We haven't figured out what they are just yet, but she's slippery. And that's coming from someone who can make a sailor blush. So they can't get a hold of her. No, boss. Good. I'd like to handle her personally myself if I could. You going to kill her? If possible, she might go into the wall. But killing is an option. She's too dangerous to capture. I'm going to try and get nullifiers from... Well, no. I'm going to try and get destroyers from Overhaul when I talk to him. Destroyers? Quirk destroyers. No quirk permanently. That's dangerous. I know. He let me know he has them. And now I'm going to go ask for one. Maybe some more. Take her down. That's simple. We're done. Then everything else I can just rip in half. Do your job. Gather information. Let your subordinates know. I see. I'm going to be leaving now. Him turning and walking out. And she is a bit worried. The horseman. He's the one in control. Yeah. This is bad. Though, he's more stable than she gives him credit for. Just try to ride this out. Just try to survive. This isn't her war, but she's sending people to die. No, it is. Though, she can probably get a pretty good lot in life by fighting side by side with the man. She'll make it through this. She's made it through worse things. Now, Deku, he does go to make a very quick flight. Right now, he does go to test out Gear Shift and see how it has changed with his augmented body. And he does make a very long trip very quick. Right now, him happy. And he does go to arrive over in Overhaul's territory. And the man, he is none the wiser. Right now, he does have nothing going on. His people are on high alert. And there is, in the agency building, nothing's happening. And a number of people, they are trying to just figure things out. Someone in particular, however, they do sit on the beach, wondering about quite a bit. And there is where a loud boom is heard in the distance. And they do go to stand, looking around and trying to figure out what that might have been. And something does go flying overhead. It was so fast, all they heard was the wind fly past with it. They weren't sure what it was, but it was gone 1 second after being there. It was like something just stopped existing. But you knew it was there. A blink and you miss it moment. Or are they wrong? They felt the way the wind followed it. The only real indicator that it existed. And Deku, he does go to arrive. Right now, trying to think. When he went back home, he was happy to see his family. He did have to apologize to Kami. And, well, his little girl. He'll make it up to them after this is over. He will. Finally met Koda. The kid's a little intimidated by him, but he gets it. He did try to put on a nice, friendly face, though that's a little hard right now. Mendeley told him. He could hear her talking about it whenever he showed up. He's going through a lot. They all are. He lost someone he cared about. Right now, he's trying to stop that from happening. Koda got it. He thinks so. But he could see the way the kid acted. He ruffled the kid's hair. He looked like he nearly crapped his pants. And he tried to ease up on him. Ease up on the situation. Right now, should he try that? He did try to look into certain people that he does need to know about. In fact, he'd even call them friends. They did shoot their shit at the masquerade. And right now, he does go to land on a balcony. Him using Black Whip and going to enter the building. Right now, him sitting down and waiting. Time is going to pass by, but eventually someone, they do go to enter the apartment. And when they do just step in, they do go to look around. A light is on in the living room, and the TV is playing. But it shouldn't be. They turned off her stepping into the living room and seeing Deku sitting there. Right now, him bring up a hand and going to wave. And Pop Step, she does just stare at Deku, her eyes wide as she does lower her gun. You're supposed to be dead. I'm well aware of that. Nice to see you again, Bunny. How did you? It was obvious. I had some people look into you, figure some stuff out. You hungry? Uh, why are you in my apartment? Because I can't track down your boss to talk to him. And because I want to talk to you. I owe you a statue. You do. And I owe you a date. Did you come to collect? I didn't know I was so alluring a dead man would come back for me. It's the charm. Gotta say. And, well, I mean, look at you. I liked it better when you were serious. So what? You need the boss, so you need me as a hostage? No. Let your boss know I need a cork destroyer. Preferably two. Two cork destroyers? And you're willing to pay for them, correct? I am, but I think your boss is more than willing to let it happen. What? I believe your boss is more than willing to give me cork destroyers. I will again extend the offer to join the Yagi family. Deku bring his fingers up, him flexing them and untensing them. I'm sure he's well aware of the situation. Right now, we're actually on the losing side of the war. What? The Yagi family's losing? They are. The Genist family is also losing. Right now, I don't have a first-hand account, but I've gotten reports. Quark destroyers might be the key to stopping this. I'd be willing to compensate your boss, handsomely. And I'm sure he'd like that. How so? Not only will he be a subsidiary of the Yagi family, I'd be willing to give him all of Redestro's former territory. After, we put him in the wall, and the threat is neutralized. I can relay this information. But what about you then? You get what you want? Then what? Then I go back to my life. I don't like being this. Did you know that? You could have fooled me. My daughter's name is Yuki. Right now, I've got another kid on the way. Well, a few, actually. I have a lot happening. Fuyumi Todoroki. I've heard of her. She's around 5 months pregnant. I might have a son. Twins, maybe. They haven't gone in to check. I want to protect my family. I want to live with them and protect them. If I need to unite Japan, I will do that. I still need to talk to people over with Genius's faction, figure things out there. But I'm not unreasonable. Right now, all of us are united for a threat. That's good. But I'm going to have to do something I don't like to do. And that's unite Japan. After that's done, I want everyone to know. If you go against me, it becomes problematic. So it's your way or the highway. No. It's, do you really want to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder? Do you really want people to try and come after you for the money on your head? When everyone is a Yagi in Japan, no one will be an enemy. There might be some discourse, there might be some problems, but guess what? If there are problems, they come from outside the country. Fact of the matter is, the Gallinis, they're from Europe. We don't know what other type of threats they might have sent our way. We don't know if this is a ploy or an expansion. Right now, I'm going for a ploy by a family who's lost notoriety. People desperately clutching onto power because they've had a taste of it. Dago's standing up, and he does go to walk towards her. And he does go to express, looking her right in the eye. Does she understand what he talks about? He's been a starving kid on the street. He's been a nobody. He's been in a low point. Right now, he's going to fix a lot of problems. Then, they'll look outward to the rest of the world. If they threaten them, they become part of them. It's that simple. He doesn't know a lot about Europe, but he knows if they're a threat to take it out. Now, does that make sense? Come to an accord with other bosses from around the world. And keep his little slice nice and safe. Can she understand that? I can. So you want peace? I want to be left alone. It's all I've ever asked. But that's not how shit works. So yeah, I just want my fucking family. Understandable? Her standing there, still frozen under Deku's gaze. And he does get to talk about it. Leaning forward. Give his message to her boss. And if she's still interested, then they can maybe chat later. He'll get her trophy, her statue. And, well, maybe some other time. Him turning to walk away. And she does watch him make his way over to the sliding door and leave. Her sucking in her breath as he finally left. Holy shit. Holy fuck. her pulling her phone and calling overhaul. But she doesn't think about what the guy just said. He's giving them an ultimatum. It's a pretty good one. He maintains control of a lot of territory, and in return, well, no more fighting. An end to conflict. It is, well, the stick before the carrot, but then you get the carrot. Not a bad deal. And Deku does go flying into Gina's territory. Right now, him arriving at another apartment. And when he does get a step inside, he does go to look around. Right now, him not seeing anything inside. And he does a sit down and wait. Though whenever his stomach does go to rumble, he does gonna make his way over to the fridge. Right now, we do actually have Koichi. Koichi, he was dealing with quite a lot. And it did kind of suck. There's not really much anyone else can do. And that does mean quite a bit. Him going to land on his own balcony and go to sigh. And he does open the sliding door. Before he does a step in and go to turn. Freezing whenever someone is sitting there at the counter eating some food. Wait, that's his fucking food. Him rushing over and pulling a gun. Raising his hand as he does see Deku. And Deku does a turn. Informing him they should have a chat. And he does a freeze. Annoyed, but going to nod. Lowering his gun, but keeping his hand raised. Informing him he's looking pretty good for a dead man. Maybe. But you're looking pretty good for an airhead. Be serious. I am. I want to talk to your boss, but I can't find him. He's dealing with stuff. We all are. Get over it. Listen, I consider you and I somewhat friends. I don't have a lot of those. So I'll go ahead and let you know about something. Right now, I need to figure out exactly where your boss is. Give him an offer and let him know something. We're already helping your family. You've already come to an accord. Yeah, because he killed your former boss. At any point, however, he could change sides. Get a better deal. We're not winning. We're on the defensive. Very soon, they'll play offense. Then we'll lose. That is what I'm afraid of. I might be back, but even then, I might have lost. What do you mean? Back then, if they all teamed up on me, I would have lost. I nearly died because someone had the ability to erase my quirks. Then they set off a bomb, almost in my face. You're pretty damn lucky. I am. But I'm not gonna run out of my luck anytime soon. That's why I plan for a lot of things. And right now, I want you to let your boss know. I just got augmented. Deku raising a hand and going to use his thumb to lower his pointer finger. Him raising his thumb. Got myself a lot more power, him lowering his middle finger. And number 3, I'm done playing games. Him looking completely serious and not lowering his finger. Right now, all of Japan is going to become my territory. And Redestro, he's going to know the promise I made. The promise? Well, I promised to become the angry god to make them fear the sky. I intend to keep that promise. And if I do have to rip apart everything in my way, I'm more than powerful enough to do that. More so than ever. I don't know how strong I am. But I do know one thing. No one's stronger than me. Now, let your boss know I'm done playing games. I'm being serious. And if he's not with me, he's against me. I would rather like to use, I'd like to say my charisma and my reputation before things get bad. You get to operate freely in the same manner you have been already. But you're Yagi's now. That would be it. We focus on threats to us from outside the country. If these people are just the start, we don't know who else might come if the Europeans are expanding into our territory. We know America had to deal with a civil war a long time ago. And things have been odd since. Star has a pretty good amount, a chunk of the states. And she's continuing her own expansion. Though, some people won't be content with that. They're still after her. Right now, we don't need that type of attention on us. If we have the home front, then people know they can't take our territory. And if they try, then we expand. It's that simple. We can just bend the rest of the world over and put it to them. That is a very, I know, but that's the point. It's not supposed to be nice. Let your boss know. Deku going to leave. Him taking the bag of chips with him. And he does gonna leave the paper plate. Right now, him walking back over to the balcony and going to fly off. As Koichi, he does get a sigh. Him going to make a phone call. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.